The Canadian Card Collector here, and welcome back to day 654 of a daily deck review. And the deck that we're taking a look at today is the White Lions playing cards, and this is the Series B, the red edition. So, no further ado, let's take a look and see what we get. But before we get into it, I gotta say, this is my first ever White Lions deck that I will have in my collection and I will be reviewing. But one thing I gotta mention, don't mind the tuck box too much. I did get this from an open box mystery box. So I'm in an open deck mystery box, so these cards were already previously opened and used before. That's why the tuck box might look a little rough around the edges. But now, without further ado, let's take a look and see what we get. As we can see, it is in that matte white finished tuck box there. If you zoom in, it does say White Lions at the top there. It's just kind of like a white on white, so it's a little bit hard to see. It says 2012. You got the lion there and the red there. Then you got a little bit of silver foiling on the front here, and then you got all the suits, the four suits going around there. It says playing cards made in the U.S. and it says Series B red. Then on one side it says created by DB Productions or David Blaine Productions. Then you got the Split Spades logo there. On the other side it says designed by Mark D. Stutzman, and you got the Split Spades logo once again. You got that silver little bar that just wraps around the edges there. On the bottom here it just says distributed by DB Productions, New York, New York. On the back, little sneak peek of the back design there. For the seal here, you got a red split spade seal. There. Then on the top here, it just says, I think it just says White Lions there underneath the seal. On the tuck flap here, it says play something cards. Play indigo cards or something. And on the inner tuck flaps is that matte white finish. Nothing. And then take the cards out of the box. On the inside here, just that matte white finish. Nothing too crazy or fancy inside there. Now that we took a look at the tuck box, time to take a look at the cards. And first we'll start with the backside. So here we have a mirrored backside with the standard white border going around there. And it's that red split spade design. So it's a mirror, like a staggered kind of red split spades design there. And it has a little thin red pinstripe around it. Then you get to that kind of white border and you flip it over. Same design in both directions. There. And now for the cards to go with the deck. Here we start with the first Joker. There, and then you got the little image of the Joker. But if you zoom in on it, well, yeah, I mean, it looks like the clown there. But if you zoom in, you can kind of see like an actual image in it. And you can actually start to see things. So you got David Blaine over there. Then you got a bunch of other little faces in their little circles there. And then a few other little details around. And then you got a second identical Joker. So two identical Jokers. Then we got that custom Ace of Spades there. Where it has like the image, like you can either see a girl or you can see the lion's face. You can either see one of those two, and this is White Lions at the bottom. And then the rest of the cards are just standard. Nothing too crazy going on there. But then if you know David Blaine decks or a few other like branded decks, these ones actually have custom faces for the core cards. So the core cards are pretty standard, but the faces, as you can see, are custom. And since this is a David Blaine deck, David Blaine is on the King of Spades there. And then the diamonds are just standard as well. And then we get to the core cards there, which have custom faces. Well, some of the cards, well, this Jack does not, but the Queen and King do. They're actual people, like actual people. It's just I don't know who they are other than the David Blaine one. And then you got the clubs here. Core cards there. The custom face. And then the clubs are just standard. And then lastly the hearts here with the custom faces. And then you got the hearts, which are standard as well. And the last two cards in the deck, you got the double backer of the back design. And then you got a blank face. But now that we look at the cards, time to test the handling. And these are used, so they will handle slightly different, but they still handle pretty nicely. So they still got a good spring in them. So that means they'll last a while if they've been used, and they still spring pretty nicely. And they still fan like almost perfectly, which is fantastic. David Blaine is a magician, so you would expect him to have high quality cards, and they definitely do. They're a little bit sticky at times, but like overall, like the handling is still like super nice. Giant fans perfectly. Well, I gotta say, for a used deck of cards, they still handle fantastic. Also, if these were brand new, then they would handle like even more crispy than they already do. So like I said, definitely no issues with the handling whatsoever. And they got this fantastic split spades back design there in the red colorway. Just one of many designs and colors of the David Blaine's decks there. Then you got those pretty much standard faces there. They're just so they were more easy to use for like David Blaine or in Magicians there. But then you got the slightly custom core cards there with the custom faces. But that's standard on all his cards there. And then you got the wild and crazy like core cards that there was, I mean jokers that he has in his decks there with like the optical illusion kind of style in it. And that custom ace of spades there. But I guess with that being said, I hope you enjoyed. And this has been day 654 of your daily deck review. And this has been the red edition of the White Lions playing cards. This was the Series B edition. So, with that being said, I'm the Canadian Collector, signing out. That's the video. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.